Assalamu alaikum, I'm Aisha and you're watching Samaa News. Here are today's headlines. Iran has been largely cut off from the outside world after authorities blacked out the internet to curb expanding protests, with phone calls not reaching the country, flights cancelled, and online Iranian news sites only intermittently updating. Supreme Leader Ayatollah Ali Khamenei accused protesters of acting on behalf of US President Donald Trump, saying rioters were attacking public properties and warning that Tehran would not tolerate people acting as mercenaries for foreigners. Air travel between Iran and several regional hubs is facing major disruption after airlines from Dubai, Turkey and Qatar cancelled dozens of flights amid nationwide protests and an ongoing internet blackout in Iran. At least 17 flights between Dubai and Iranian cities, including Tehran, Shiraz and Mashhad, were cancelled, and no official reason was provided. Disruptions were also reported on routes between Turkey and Iran. US President Donald Trump says he would not be appropriate at this stage for him to meet with Reza Pahlavi, Iran's self-proclaimed crown prince, amid ongoing protests and political instability in the country. Trump described Pahlavi, son of Iran's last Shah, as a nice person, but emphasized that a formal meeting would not be suitable for a sitting US president. He added, "I think that we should let everybody go out there and see who emerges," signaling a cautious approach toward Iran's fragmented opposition. US President Donald Trump has said that he has cancelled a second wave of attacks on Venezuela following cooperation from the South American nation. The president said that Venezuela was releasing a large number of political prisoners as a sign of seeking peace following last week's dramatic US military operation that resulted in the capture of President Nicolás Maduro. The US Senate advances a war powers resolution aimed at restricting President Donald Trump from taking further military action in Venezuela without congressional approval, lawmakers said. The procedural vote passed 52 to 47, with 5 Republicans joining all Democrats to move the measure forward. The resolution, a rare rebuke of the White House, follows a controversial US military operation in Caracas that resulted in the capture of Venezuelan President Nicolás Maduro. If fully adopted, it would require Trump to seek authorization before future military engagements in Venezuela. 2 prominent Venezuelan opposition figures were freed as part of a prisoner release that the government described as a gesture toward national unity and peaceful coexistence, local rights group Foro Penal and journalists reported. Politician Enrique Marquez, 62, who supported opposition candidate Edmundo González in the 2024 election, and Biagio Pilieri, an opposition party leader and lawmaker critical of the government, were among those released. Spain's foreign ministry also confirmed the release of 5 Spanish citizens, including Venezuelan Spanish human rights activist Rocío San Miguel, who had been detained since February 2024. Government officials said the move aims to promote national unity, but hundreds of political prisoners remain detained across the country. Russia has fired a powerful hypersonic missile overnight at a target in Ukraine, near the border with NATO member Poland, in what Kyiv called a new threat to European security that demanded a global reaction. Moscow said it had fired the Oreshnik missile in response to what it has described as an attempted drone attack on one of President Vladimir Putin's residences last month, which Ukraine has denied and the United States has said did not happen. Russian drone and missile attacks plunges southeastern Ukraine into near-total blackouts, targeting both residential and industrial infrastructure. President Volodymyr Zelensky called the strikes an attempt to break the country amid freezing winter conditions. Overnight assaults hit Dnipropetrovsk and Zaporizhzhia regions, leaving millions without power. Energy company DTEK restored electricity to nearly 700,000 households by evening, though 194,000, including much of Kryvyi Rih, remained in the dark. Israeli attacks across Gaza kill at least 14 Palestinians, including 5 children. 4 people were killed when Israeli fire hit tents for displaced families in Al-Mawasi, southern Gaza, and 4 others in the Zaytun neighborhood of Gaza City. An 11-year-old girl, Hamza Husu, died in Jabalia after Israeli shelling, her uncle said. The Popular Front for the Liberation of Palestine, PFLP, condemned the attacks as a war crime, accusing Israel of trying to make Gaza unlivable. Since October 11th, the Palestinian Health Ministry reports 425 Palestinians killed and 1,206 wounded, with hundreds of thousands displaced into makeshift tent camps. That's all for now. For more updates, visit www.samaa.tv. Thank you for watching Samaa News.